Welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is the 26th of November 2013, and this is a Tuesday. To me, it feels like Monday because I just came back from camping and it was fun. You know, I haven't been camping in so long. I needed that. I caught some rainbow trout. But anyway, I have an article in front of me here that is entitled, and it is from WND.com, but it is entitled "Bachmann Uncorks on Obama Armageddon. Has choice words for President's nuke deal with Iran." So this is written by Garth Kent. So I'm just going to get into this. Looks like a not too long of an article, so I'll just try to keep my ranting limited, or I won't rant at all. I'll just try to get through this and read it. So this is coming from Washington. It was a warning on the perils of appeasement reminiscent of Churchill. Representative Michelle Bachmann, Republican of Minnesota, cut straight to the heart of the matter when WND asked her what the nuclear deal with Iran will mean. The major nations of the world have chosen to fail to thwart Iran from gaining a nuclear weapon. It is a blunder of such great proportion. History will record its folly, she ruefully predicted. The Congresswoman had an equally dire assessment when asked, did the deal mean Israel would now have no option but to launch a preemptive strike on Iran to stop it from acquiring nuclear weapons? Israel may have to save the world. Now Israel must secure not only her destiny, but she may have to save the world from an Islamic-inspired nuclear Armageddon, she observed ominously. Sorry. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu called the deal brokered by world powers over the weekend a historic mistake. Iran gets billions of dollars in sanction relief without paying an actual price, said the Prime Minister. Iran gets written permission to breach UN Security Council resolutions. The deal, spearheaded by U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry, will ease strict economic sanctions on Iran to exchange for steps supposed to curb the nation's nuclear program. Netanyahu had insisted to be effective in stopping Iran's drive to build atomic weapons. Any deal had to end Iran's enriching of uranium and include the demolition of a plutonium reactor under construction. It's really like evident. I mean, how openly evil is our government? Do we even have to discuss that? Because it's really stupid to understand. I mean, to really even question. I can't even put this together in words because it's just so ridiculously, openly evil. We're going to give the right to build nuclear arms to a country that hates us? It's not any more obvious than it is now, you guys, that we need to wake up. Surrender by the United States, but an Associated Press analysis showed the Israelis' worst fears were realized because the deal does not do either of those things and relies heavily on Iranian goodwill. Former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, called the deal an abject surrender by the United States because Iran retains its full capacity to enrich uranium, thus abandoning a decade of Western insistence and Security Council resolutions that Iran stop all uranium enrichment activities. He warned Iran may have gained all of the time it needs to achieve weaponization, not of simply a handful of nuclear weapons, but of dozens or more. Bachmann wrote an op-ed in the Jerusalem Post earlier this month that questioned the president's entire approach to the Middle East, noting that Obama recently told the UN General Assembly that Israeli security as a Jewish and democratic state depended upon the realization of a Palestinian state, rather than neutralizing the threat from Iran. But the Congresswoman remarked Palestinian refusal to accept statehood in 1947, 2000, and again in 2008 suggests that destroying Israel, not building a Palestine, is the Palestinian goal. That led her to wonder, why are we pressuring Israel at all? Suicidal deal. And in an interview with the Post, she said the looming deal with Iran would not just be bad for Israel, it would be suicidal for the world. Bachmann spoke with WND after having recently returned from Israel, where she first learned the outlines of the deal and met with a clearly concerned Netanyahu. The meeting was unlike any we'd ever had, she said. She was very upset and apoplectic about that this deal would mean. about what this deal would mean. She contrasted Netanyahu's sober concern with a bombastic speech given last week by Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to the fanatical Basij volunteer loyalist militia, the man who has ultimate authority over his nation nuclear program, called Israel a rabid dog. He went on to say that they will not change their nuclear program one iota, Bachmann noted, and the response from the tens of thousands of parliamentary who would be the front line of this military response, all shouted in unison, "Death to America! Death to America!" Even more stunning than what the Ayatollah said, according to Bachmann, was the silence that came from the Obama administration in response to those words. Oh man, you guys, I mean, can we get ready for this, or can we just form militias and show the world we're not a bunch of pansies and we don't just bend over when everyone's talking crap? I mean, we need to do this. We need to do this now, because I mean, I was watching Red Dawn last night and I got really inspired because it's kind of a bad movie. Like, it's not the greatest movie of all time, but it's funny that it has real life scenarios in it, like China invading America and this and that. And it's what I like about it is that what I really thought was, like, does that really need to happen for us to realize we need to get together and start working together and forming teams and all this? Because it seems like it, you know. I guess it's going to take parachuting. I guess it's going to take an invasion for us to realize that. And it's just, you know, when are we going to really be concerned about what's going on to us right now? America is under attack, my friend. Spiritually and mentally under attack, and only a matter of time before it's a physical attack. Obama endorses Iran's right to uranium. Of course he does. He's a Muslim lover. He is a Muslim. His name's Barack Hussein Obama, dude. He's like Muhammad Ali, and he's like the other Muslim clown. What's his name? So many of them. They all changed their name, you know, like, to be Muslims. It's really a joke. It's funny to me. Obama endorses Iran's right to uranium. And as a matter of fact, today the Obama administration gave a gift, the greatest gift that Iran could ever hope to achieve or receive. Bachmann said, "It's this." In the president's press statement that he issued, he talked about Iran's right to enrich uranium. Indeed, Netanyahu has pointed out nations such as Canada and India import their uranium to run nuclear power plants, and that if Iran really did not want to use the nuclear fuel to build a bomb, it could simply do the same. Bachmann called the deal almost beyond belief because after decades of violating UN Security Council resolutions, they've been rewarded for bad behavior. Oh, but that's our world today. We reward bad behavior. We love it. We encourage it. We encourage all the lawlessness and all the just the dishonoring and all the, you know, it's just funny. Look at music, what it was like 50 years ago and what it is now. We used to, like, oh my goodness, man. I mean, if you wanted to woo a chick, you would sing her a beautiful song. Nowadays, you call her a B and an S and you demean her and you just absolutely trample her as a prostitute. And that's what's cool. And we all twerk to it and we all mindlessly worship Satan, my friend. Moment of clarity. She termed this a turning point. She termed this a turning point and a moment of clarity in the United States relations with Iran and Israel. It's a moment of clarity for the Obama administration. In his press release, the president referred to the Islamic Republic of Iran, not just as Iran. I don't believe his administration has referred to the Jewish state of Israel. She repeated the observation to emphasize what she clearly considers the historic and ominous nature of this deal. This is a moment of clarity, Bachmann said. The president has made it abundantly clear that, for all practical purposes, he and his team are perfectly content to see Iran join the very exclusive League of Nations with nuclear weaponry. Then she spelled out exactly why she believes this deal is both so historic and so dangerous. It's always been. In order to gain admission to that club, you had to be responsible. She said, "This is the most dangerous nation with the most dangerous weapons, acquiring them at the worst possible time with stated intentions to use them to wipe Israel off the map and to use them against us to bring about the defeat of the United States of America." Well, that's their mantra, death to America. They hate us. You know, we're all sinners except for them. They're perfect, but they want to kill everyone. But they're perfect, transforming America, then the world. WND asked Bachmann, "Why do you think President Obama believes this deal was a good idea?" Just go back to the speech he gave 5 days before he was elected president, in which he said he was going to fundamentally transform America, she replied. He's done that domestically on the economic side with Obamacare, and now he's doing it with foreign policy. She didn't mince words when describing the effects of the president's foreign policy. He's completely changed the dynamic of the United States and our role in the world. Oh, well, yeah, we're a giant joke to the world now because of Obama. We have been a joke since President Bush, but since it's just we're more of a joke now because we don't see how much of a joke it is that President Obama is our president, but that he blames everything on Bush, like Bush is just doing everything behind the scenes. No, my friend, that's stupid. You can't blame everything on Bush. That's just a cop-out. You got to give credit to where credit's due, and that is that the president in office right now is the one that's really taking us downhill. So, he picked up the economy from the ground up. Hey, what has he done with it? Made it worse? So, hey, let's just call a spade, my friend. A tyrant, a tyrant. Let's just see here what else he's doing. Reducing the strength of the U.S. military. He's completely changed the dynamic of the United States and our role in the world, reducing the U.S. as a world power, reducing the strength of the U.S. military. Oh, yeah, he hates our military. Continually disrespecting and pulling the rug out from under our allies. Then she returned to a theme, but put it in a hopeful light. I think this is a moment of moral clarity, Bachmann said. We should have joy because now, after all the rhetoric we've had from the administration about being supportive of Israel, now we have an opportunity to put it on the line. That's what we need to realize. What's going to happen now? What's the next step? Israeli military strike is the only way left. Bachmann may have left the question hanging in the air, but another severe critic of the deal spelled it out. Ambassador Bolton said there is only one option left. So in truth, an Israeli military strike is the only way to avoid Tehran's otherwise inevitable march to nuclear weapons and the proliferation that will surely follow. Bolton said the real target of the deal was Israel, and he called it an attempt to stop the nation from launching a strike against Iran to defend itself. Obama, fearing that strike more than an Iranian nuclear weapon, clearly needed greater international pressure on Jerusalem, he said. And Jerusalem fully understands that Israel was the real target of the Geneva negotiations. And by stating Tehran's judges correctly that they have Obama obediently moving in their direction, Bolton clearly agreed with the Saudis that the president has been manipulated by the Iranians. Ha ha! You think? I don't think the president needs to wear a turban for us to realize that he's a Muslim, acting as he's an American, running our country straight into the dirt. It's really obvious, man. I think you got to be so stupid to not realize this stuff today. I mean, it's that awkward... I read this on a comment the other day. I thought it was epic. It's that awkward moment in time right now where there's an evil Illuminati, satanic, occult, secret society running our country. It's that awkward moment in time where there's an evil, open government and running, the superpower of the world. Has this ever happened? Yeah, it's happened. Thousands of years ago it happened. It's happened more than people really understand it. It's really just the process of time and how things just repeat itself perpetually over and over. Just like our founding fathers have put it, those that forget history are doomed to repeat it. Because freedom and liberty are not easy and they don't just fall in your lap. Freedom isn't free. You got to fight for freedom because there's a lot of depravity in our world. There's a lot of, it's our fallen state of nature, my friend. Only the Christian realizes this. Only the Christian realizes that we're not inherently good and that we need to be checked by good people. And that good people are not meant to sit back and twiddle their thumbs and just be ignorant of all this stuff. You got to know about this. You got to study to show yourself approved. You got to be a man. Anyways, Iran outmatches Obama. In fact, veteran Saudi negotiator Prince Al-Walid bin Talal, stupid name, told Bloomberg News that Obama is outmatched by the Islamic Republic of Iran. There's no confidence in the Obama administration doing the right thing with Iran. He confided even before the deal was struck. Perhaps the most significant measure of how great a threat Iran now poses is that Israeli is now in an unprecedented and previously unimaginable de facto alliance with other Arab nations against Iran. We're really concerned, Israel, Saudi Arabia, the Middle East countries, about this, confessed bin Talal. And the Saudi prince has his own ideas as to why Obama would make such a deal, which have everything to do with the president's disastrous healthcare law and nosediving poll numbers. I mean, that the crack smoking Canadian mayor has a better approval rating than our president does right now. Imagine that. Let's see. Disastrous healthcare plan. He said he wants anything. Let's see. Obama is in so much of a rush to have a deal with Iran. He said he wants anything, so he's wounded. He's so wounded. It's very scary. Look, the 2014 elections are going to begin. Within 2 months, they're going to start campaigning. 39 members of his own party in the House have already moved away from him on Obamacare. That's scary for him. So this is wrong. Bachmann her commentary in the Jerusalem Post outlined just how much Israel has had to overcome just to survive to this point. I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle, you guys, that Israel is really even a country right now. It is not Israel that has declared war on its Arab neighbors since its inception in 1948, she wrote. It is the neighboring Arab states which invaded Israel the day it declared independence. It is not Israel that refused peace talks following the first Arab-Israeli war. It was its Arab neighbors. She accused the Obama administration of leaning heavily on Israel to make concessions while not calling out the Palestinian Authority for its uninterpreted record of intransigence and extremism. This is wrong, she declared. This is counterproductive. This harms peace prospects. This does not serve American interests. This is not America at its best. Bachmann noted how American presidents have always stood by Israel when faced with threats, violence, extremism, and non-acceptance. Israel faces all these right now. I kind of had a feeling we were going to turn on Israel because we don't even believe in God anymore in this country. Why would we even stand up for Israel all the way across the world? I mean, it's because we don't have any wisdom anymore. We're just slobs, living day by day to spend money, go to work, come home, do the same thing over again, and never learn anything from it. We're just a bunch of, we're like ants now. We're like a collective and we only serve the queen. We all go to work to feed the King Obama so that he can take our money overseas and make sure that Christians are getting persecuted. It's really what it is. And they get to grow opium in Afghanistan, and they get to put crack on the streets of America, and then they get to put people in the system. I mean, it's really, the Roman Empire built from the ground up all over again. It's not as bad as it has. It's not as bad as what the Roman Empire turned out to be, but I guarantee you that what America is turning into today is going to be far, far worse than anything that's ever happened in history. It's going to be really bad. But anyways, she added, the time has come for the United States to cease pressuring Israel into unmerited, dangerous, one-sided concessions. However, the Congresswoman believes that it is what the United States has done with historic consequences to follow. Subscribe to my videos, and God bless you.